Sir Jeremy Hunt is calling for an urgent re-examination of the Lucy Letby case after an international panel of experts presented evidence that the baby's deaths and injuries were due to natural causes or errors in medical care.
A neonatal nurse was given 15 life sentences last year for murdering 7 babies and the attempted murder of 7 others. The report has been passed to the Criminal Cases Review Commission, but the former Health Secretary wants the whole process to be sped up. And Sir Jeremy Hunt joins us live from Westminster. Very good morning to you. This is a very sensitive and highly distressing case because, of course, there are the families of the babies who died and the babies where attempted murder was the conviction, who constantly feel like their pain is being aggravated by people saying she may not be, Lucy Letby may not be the person, or indeed if anyone was responsible. Why are you now taking it on yourself to intervene?
Morning, Susanna. Morning, Ed. You are absolutely right. This is a really, really difficult case because those families have suffered the worst thing that could happen to any family, losing a child, absolutely indescribable horror. And they will be wanting closure, and they may have hoped the conviction of Lucy Letby would give them that closure. And that's why I have avoided saying anything about this case at all until very recently, even though these tragic deaths happened when I was Health Secretary. But I do think that the thing that we owe those families more than anything else is the truth. And there is now some very disturbing evidence that maybe, and I make no judgment about this because I don't think politicians should second-guess the courts, but maybe that conviction was unsafe. So without passing judgment as to whether that is right or not, we need the Criminal Cases Review Commission to do a very speedy review so that those families find the answer one way or another.
Can I ask, what is at the heart of your worries? Because it could be that you have looked in detail at the Letby case and the evidence, and it's raised questions in your mind, and that would be understandable. There are many people who have who've had the same reaction. But also, during the time when you were Health Secretary, you won't have known about Lucy Letby and the details of that maternity unit, but we do know there were a number of maternity units around the country where things were going wrong. And is it your worry that, in this case, an individual has been scapegoated, possibly, for what we now know in other places were more systemic issues in quality of care?
Spot on, Ed. That is exactly the worry, because every day in the NHS we have 3 baby deaths, tragically, and about 5 stillbirths. And these are absolutely awful moments. And often they are caused by medical error. They could have been avoided if things had been done differently. And if that's happened in this case at the Countess of Chester, then what we need to do is to learn why it happened and make sure we learn the lessons so that it's not repeated. And I think it is the fact that we've had these maternity scandals at Morecambe Bay, East Kent, Nottingham, Shrewsbury and Telford, many other parts of the NHS that's leading some people to worry that maybe what happened at the Countess of Chester was an NHS-wide issue with the way we do maternity care, which I know is a big concern of Wes Streeting's at the moment, and I'm hoping we'll hear more about that in the NHS 10-year plan that we're expecting next week. But I think that is the issue. If this was medical error, we need to know so that we can learn from those mistakes.
I mean, that's a very serious issue you are raising, Sir Jeremy Hunt, because you're absolutely right. There are inquiries in other units and failings have already been found in other units. But if you're suggesting that one nurse is taking criminal responsibility because there was a failing at the unit, I mean, what does that say about the way that that unit was being run and what other people said about Lucy Letby?
Yes, and I need to be clear, I'm not saying that about Lucy Letby. I think it's very important that independent experts in our legal system review the case so that they can tell us the answer to that. But the reason why I think they need to do that review is because we've had these 14 experts led by Professor Shu Lee from the University of Toronto, someone completely independent. On that team were people like Professor Nina Modi, who was president of the Royal College of Paediatrics and Child Health when I was health secretary. These are people who've got no personal or financial interest in the case, but they are saying that there is no medical evidence in the 17 deaths that were examined in the trial of what they call malfeasance, of malicious intent. And so if they are saying that, then I really think we need to do this. Now, the key issue is that the Criminal Cases Review Commission is unbelievably slow. You may remember the case of that man, Andrew Mulkinson, who was convicted of rape, and that was overturned. It took them more than a decade to get their act together on that. Even though there was DNA evidence they could have looked at much more quickly. So what I'm saying is they need to really get their skates on, because this is such a big issue for the families involved. It's causing them such agony. We all want to know an answer, but we need to find out quickly.
Can I take you, I know we have a short of time, to another very big issue in the news today, the welfare reform bill. You have a book out. You wrote a very thoughtful article in The Economist just a week or so ago, in which you point out there's been a huge rise in the number of people claiming disability benefits. Mental health claims account for more than half of the post-pandemic increase in disability benefits. You say this may be the unintended consequence of legislation you brought in, the Care Act, when you were Health Secretary, where you were trying to treat mental and physical health equally, but you worry that's had an unintended consequence, a big rise in people receiving welfare benefits. Could you just explain that to us?
Sure. I mean, I really hope that Keir Starmer and Rachel Reeves stick to their guns, because we've got a massive problem in the welfare system at the moment. More than half the growth in working-age adult claims is for mental health reasons. And when I was Health Secretary, every doctor would say that if you have anxiety or depression, the thing you need more than anything else is social contact. And what we should be saying when people have mental illness is we're going to get you treated, not we're going to put you on benefits, sign you off having to look for work, because I think, if anything, that makes the anxiety and depression worse. So we need to fix that problem, because I think we are doing a disfavour to people with mental illness by parking them on benefits.
But you're not saying that they haven't got a mental illness. You're saying that treating it in the NHS is a good thing, but seeing that in the welfare system as a reason to sign you off work, that's the mistake.
Yes, and also, by the way, it would be a fraction of the cost to treat them. The disability bill is going up by nearly £50 billion over the 5 years of this Parliament compared to pre-pandemic levels. But for £1 billion, you could actually double the number of people we treat for anxiety and depression in the NHS. So much cheaper and better for the individual to treat them quickly rather than park them on benefits.
So Jeremy Hunt, former Health Secretary, thank you very much indeed for joining us this morning. On the point of the Criminal Cases Review Commission, they said they will not be commenting. And a spokesperson for the Countess of Chester Hospital said due to the Thirlwell inquiry and ongoing police investigations, it would not be appropriate to comment further at this time.